Tyson Foods, a giant in American meat processing, has long been a cornerstone of the nation's food industry. With its sprawling facilities and vast distribution network, Tyson has played a crucial role in feeding millions of Americans every day, supplying grocery stores, restaurants, and institutions across the country. But now, the company has announced the closure of 5 major plants, sending shockwaves through the food supply chain. These closures are not just isolated events. They represent a seismic shift in how food moves from farm to table in the United States. This isn't just a business move, it's a disruption with serious consequences for farmers, workers, and consumers nationwide. For many, Tyson's decision feels like the ground shifting beneath their feet, leaving uncertainty and anxiety in its wake. The closures leave farmers scrambling for buyers, threatening rural economies built around agriculture. Many livestock producers who have relied on Tyson as a steady customer for years now face the daunting challenge of finding new markets for their animals. Without buyers, some may be forced to cull herds or sell at a loss, putting their livelihoods at risk. Thousands of employees now face sudden unemployment, putting entire communities at risk. These workers, many of whom have spent years or even decades at Tyson, are now left searching for new jobs in areas where opportunities may be scarce. The loss of steady paychecks means families must make tough choices about their futures. Local businesses and public services brace for the fallout as tax revenues and spending decline. When a major employer shuts down, the effects ripple outward. Shops, restaurants, and service providers all feel the pinch, and local governments may struggle to fund schools, emergency services, and infrastructure. Internationally, the shutdowns raise concerns about global protein supply and the reliability of U.S. exports. Countries that depend on American meat may face shortages or price spikes, and trade partners are left questioning the stability of their supply chains. The world is watching as America's food system reveals its vulnerabilities. News of the closures has made headlines around the globe, sparking debates about food security and the risks of relying on a handful of major producers. When a company like Tyson stumbles, the effects ripple far beyond U.S. borders. From bustling markets in Asia to dinner tables in Europe, the impact is felt by millions who may never have heard of Tyson, but depend on the products it supplies. This crisis exposes just how interconnected and fragile our food networks truly are. A single disruption can set off a chain reaction, affecting everything from farm incomes to grocery store shelves, and even international trade agreements. It's a wake-up call for everyone who depends on these systems. As consumers see empty shelves and rising prices, the importance of a resilient, adaptable food supply becomes clearer than ever. The Tyson closures are a stark reminder that the security of our food system cannot be taken for granted. Paradoxically, Tyson's closures come on the heels of strong financial results. Despite reporting robust sales and record profits, the company is downsizing, citing operational efficiency. The chicken and pork divisions are thriving, and even the pork segment posted its best quarter in years. Yet, thousands of workers are losing jobs, fueling public skepticism about Tyson's motives. Critics question whether shareholder value is being prioritized over community stability. Lawmakers and regulators are taking notice, demanding answers. The contradiction between profit and layoffs is now at the center of a heated debate. The USDA has launched a sweeping investigation into Tyson's plant closures. Federal agents are reviewing thousands of documents, focusing on the impact to contract farmers left in financial limbo. Antitrust experts suspect possible violations of laws meant to protect farmers from corporate abuse. The probe's future is uncertain, hinging on political wins and upcoming elections. Farmers fear that a change in administration could halt the investigation, leaving them without recourse. For many, the outcome will determine whether justice or more hardship awaits. Emporia, Kansas faces devastation as Tyson shutters its plant, erasing over 800 jobs. The closure strikes at the heart of the town's identity and economic stability. Tyson blames tough market conditions, but for Emporia, the loss is personal and profound. The company promises support and relocation offers, but most workers can't uproot their lives. Local businesses brace for a downturn as spending drops and the tax base shrinks. Public services from schools to emergency response are at risk. The closure threatens to unravel the social fabric of Emporia. The community must now confront an uncertain future. Tyson's closures have ignited a political firestorm, with former President Trump blaming the Biden administration for the job losses. Trump's rhetoric turns the crisis into a campaign issue, rallying his base and fueling partisan debate. Critics counter that past policies may have contributed to the current volatility. The USDA investigation's fate could shift with political tides, deepening the controversy. The closures are now a symbol in the battle over economic policy and corporate responsibility. As the election approaches, the fate of workers becomes political ammunition. As the US reels, Canada sees opportunity. Canadian meat processors are poised to fill the supply gap, expanding exports to the US and beyond. Industry leaders and government officials are preparing to ramp up production and streamline logistics. Challenges remain, scaling up quickly and maintaining quality, but the rewards could be substantial. Canada's role in stabilizing the protein market is growing, with global implications. The Tyson crisis could permanently shift North American food trade. Canada stands ready to reshape the market. Industry experts widely agree that Tyson's recent plant closures are not isolated incidents, but rather part of a much larger and ongoing transformation within the meatpacking sector. These closures signal a significant shift in how the industry operates, reflecting broader trends that are reshaping the entire landscape of food production and distribution in the United States. Dr. Jennifer Clark, a leading agricultural economist, explains that Tyson is strategically consolidating its operations. By shutting down older, less efficient plants, the company is redirecting resources towards state-of-the-art facilities that prioritize automation, advanced technology, and streamlined processes. This move is designed to boost productivity and cut costs, but it also means fewer jobs and a changing skill set for workers in the industry. Antitrust lawyer Jonathan Riley points out that the ongoing USDA investigation into Tyson's practices could have far-reaching implications. If regulators take decisive action, it could set a powerful precedent for how the government protects independent farmers and ensures fair competition. However, Riley cautions that the legal and political obstacles are formidable, and any meaningful change will require sustained effort and bipartisan support. Sociologist Dr. Mark Benson warns that the impact on rural communities could be devastating and long-lasting. When a major employer like Tyson leaves, it's not just jobs that disappear. Local businesses struggle, schools lose funding, and the very fabric of small towns begins to unravel. The loss of tax revenue can cripple essential services, making recovery even more difficult. Experts agree that recovery will require more than just short-term financial aid or temporary job programs. Comprehensive, community-driven plans are needed to rebuild local economies, retrain workers, and attract new industries to fill the void left behind. Trade consultant Isabelle Dubois observes that Canadian producers are poised to capitalize on the disruption. With the U.S. market in flux, Canadian meatpackers could increase their exports, potentially shifting the balance of power in the North American protein market and altering trade relationships for years to come. The food supply chains of the U.S. and Canada are deeply interconnected, with products, livestock, and raw materials constantly crossing borders. Any major change in one country's industry inevitably ripples across the entire continent, affecting prices, availability, and even food security. Financial analysts are closely monitoring these developments, as this moment could mark a permanent shift in agricultural market dynamics. Investors are weighing the risks and opportunities, knowing that the decisions made now will shape the future of the industry. The global meat industry stands at a crossroads, with the potential for far-reaching consequences. Changes in North America could influence international trade, consumer prices, and even the way meat is produced and consumed around the world. As uncertainty looms, all eyes are on the next moves from industry leaders, regulators, and policymakers. The decisions made in the coming months will determine not just the fate of Tyson, but the future direction of the entire protein market. Behind the headlines and statistics, there are real people whose lives have been upended by the closure of the Tyson plant. These are not just numbers on a page, but families, workers, and entire communities now facing an uncertain future. The impact ripples far beyond the factory walls, touching every corner of Emporia and the surrounding rural areas. Take Maria Rodriguez, for example. She's a dedicated Tyson worker and a single mother of 2 young children. For years, she's balanced long shifts at the plant with caring for her family, relying on her steady paycheck to keep food on the table and a roof over their heads. Now, with the plant closed, Maria faces a terrifying reality. Relocation isn't an option, and jobs are scarce. She worries about how she'll pay rent, buy groceries, and provide for her kids' future. John Miller, a local poultry farmer, is also feeling the sting. He invested his life savings to upgrade his farm and meet Tyson's strict requirements, believing it would secure his family's livelihood for years to come. But with Tyson gone, John is left with empty chicken houses and mounting debts, facing the very real threat of financial ruin. The sense of betrayal and loss is overwhelming. Local business owner Sarah Chen, who runs the town's beloved diner, is watching her regular customers disappear. Without Tyson workers stopping in for breakfast or lunch, her sales have plummeted. She fears her diner, a gathering place for the community, may not survive much longer. The plant's closure threatens to turn Emporia into a ghost town. Once busy streets are now eerily quiet, and the sense of loss is palpable. The economic engine that powered the town for decades has suddenly stalled, leaving uncertainty in its wake. Community leaders are sounding the alarm about rising anxiety and depression. As uncertainty grows, so does the emotional strain on families and individuals. People who once felt secure now find themselves grappling with fear and doubt about what comes next. Pastor David Evans, who has ministered to local families for years, says he's never seen the community so shaken. Many feel a deep sense of betrayal, having trusted Tyson to provide stability and opportunity. Now, they're left questioning what the future holds. The emotional and financial toll is immense. Families are struggling to pay bills, keep their homes, and maintain hope. The stress is visible on every face, in every conversation, and in every home. Residents feel abandoned by a system they supported for generations. Many have worked at the plant or supplied it for decades, only to be left behind when the company moved on. The sense of loss is not just economic, but deeply personal. Yet in the face of adversity, the community is coming together. Neighbors are volunteering, delivering food boxes, and supporting each other in any way they can. The challenge now is to rebuild hope, to find new ways forward, and to ensure that no one is left behind. These stories from the front lines reveal the true cost of corporate decisions. They remind us that behind every closure, there are lives forever changed, and a community fighting to survive and rebuild. Tyson's closures expose deep flaws in America's food system and the risks of corporate consolidation. This crisis demands action, diversifying supply chains, enforcing protections for workers and farmers, and holding corporations accountable. Immediate support is needed: unemployment benefits, retraining, and mental health resources. The USDA investigation and political debates will shape what comes next. Citizens must stay informed and engaged, pushing for transparency and reform. This is more than a business story, it's about the future of American communities. The challenge is great, but so is the opportunity to build a more resilient food system. Now is the time to turn crisis into lasting change.